What is going on, everybody? It is the watch along for the U.S. Grand Prix in Formula One. They are in Austin this weekend, my home state, and it is time. I'm so excited for this race today. We don't have Max Verstappen on pole. We have Charles Leclerc, who basically made up for last year when he did get pole, but because he was penalized for changing certain parts to his vehicle, he had to start lower back on the grid. So today we get Charles Leclerc from pole. We could have a brand new winner this season. It could be anybody. News stories, going through the grid so far today. There are going to be 4 cars starting from pit lane. Both Aston Martin cars and both Haas cars will be starting from the pit lane. With Haas is starting from pit lane. They've changed some of the setup to their rear wing. They were running a lot less rear wing, and so they've readjusted that along with some other smaller things. Obviously, Haas brought a huge update this weekend to the car, so it was they've been kind of playing around with the setup, and we knew there was a possibility that it could change, with only one practice this weekend. But then Aston Martin's got both cars starting from pit lane as they've made changes to both cars. Alonso is going back to the old updates that were on the car. He's going to be running all the old updates, whereas Lance Stroll will be running the new updates on the car. And it sounds to me like Aston Martin is going to be really running this as a test session today, since we only had the one practice session this week. It sounds like this is going to be more of a testing session for them to see kind of, which update is a little bit better, and what they'll use moving forward. So 4 cars starting from pit lane today, but it should be a very interesting race. So guys, let me know in the comment section down below as you guys are watching this, where you guys are watching from and what you are excited to see today within the Grand Prix. Like I said, Charles Leclerc starting from pole position. You got Lando Norris starting second, Hamilton third, Sainz fourth, Russell fifth, Verstappen sixth. You've got the Alpines of Gasly and Ocon starting 7th and 8th. You've got Perez and Piastri rounding out that top 10. So it should be a very interesting, to see what is going to happen there. Let's see. Also, you guys can support my channel. It would really help out. If you guys can donate to my to the Cash App. We don't have the super chats, but if you guys do donate and you guys leave a message with it, I will read your message out on the stream. So if you guys donate there, that helps the channel and it helps me out, and it'll help further this channel along. So it would be greatly appreciated if you guys could donate. Also, if you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. It helps me out immensely. I was on a fight for 500 subscribers before the end of the Formula One season. I'm still on that fight. It's an uphill battle. We're at 336 subscribers. But if you guys are subscribing today, as we're going through this, you guys will see the counter just below me here keep going up. So guys, if you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. It would mean the absolute world to me to get to 500, because then I can do those super chats and stuff like that. So that would really help me out if you guys could hit that subscribe button as well. But we are a little bit 23 minutes before race time. So also you guys will notice that I've changed the screen up a little bit compared to races before. I've kind of let you guys see a little bit more of the I would just show positioning and whatnot, but I'm going to show you guys lap times, sector times, just so you guys can gain an understanding of what's going on throughout the field. And then also we've got the race control messages, which we've already got a message coming through. The FIA steward saying an incident involving car 18, Lance Stroll, will be investigated after the race for not entering pit lane. Again, like I said before, Aston Martin, both cars for them will be starting from pit lane, and apparently he didn't enter pit lane when he was supposed to, and so now there's some question on whether or not he's going to be punished at all for that. I doubt that. I doubt very seriously that they'll penalize him much for that. If anything, they'll probably just monetarily, um, fine him in some sort of way. As you guys can see, I also have a brand new background. We've got some soundproofing in the office, so now hopefully it won't sound like a big gigantic echo. And I don't know if you guys saw my post. Hit that subscribe button. Go check the communities tab. Just posted a picture. I believe it was last week, if I remember correctly. Just talking about that I've been putting the office together, and that's why we didn't have any videos this week. But I will be coming back with more and more videos this week, going into next week. I think we're in Mexico next Sunday. So we'll have some videos leading up to that. But yeah, so guys, hit that subscribe button. You'll get to see those videos and all the other videos that I've done in the past as well. We do a lot of reaction videos on this channel. I do opinion videos on this channel. So those will be coming more and more here towards the end of the season and obviously into the off season. They're talking to Anthony Joshua, which that was the big story, big news story leading into this week. You had basically a group of six guys that basically invested into the team. So you had the ones that I know of. You had Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce from the Kansas City Chiefs. You had Anthony Joshua, Rory McIlroy, and then there were two football stars from Europe that joined as well. I'm blanking on names as of right now, so you'll have to excuse me on that. But they've all invested in Alpine. That's huge for the United States to have. Obviously we've got Andretti. That is going to be eventually joining the grid come 2025 is the rumor now. But they have already built apparently a 2023 car, and they're going to be using Toyota's wind tunnel to kind of gauge, where they're at going into 2024 and 2025 to kind of, really start to build that car up and get ready for the 2025 season. Excuse me. You guys should be able to hear some of the sound. Obviously, I don't show the video on this stream. This is a watch along. You guys can watch the race at home. You guys can mute the coverage of Sky Sports if you want to mute it, or if you want to have it up in the background. That's your choice. But I will not show the race, as I love my channel too much to lose that. To lose my channel over actually showing the race. So we got 17 minutes about 17 and a half minutes before the start of the race. I've tried to delay. So one of the things that I've noticed in past streams is that I've had issues where the timing screens were a little off, and you would see the messages come up from the race control. You would see the messages come up before they came up on the TV. And so it was throwing me off a little bit. Whereas, like, they would be pitting, and then like 5 to 6 seconds later, then the TV would show the pit stop. And so, I've tried to delay that a little bit so they're kind of coming in at the exact same time, maybe a little bit sooner, but not by much. Excuse me. All right. So, um, trying to think of what other news stories we've got going on. Whoop, lost our timing screen there for just a second. So like I said, we're about 17 minutes out. We've got four cars starting from pit lane, as you guys can see on the timing screen. You got Magnussen, Hulkenberg, Alonso, and Stroll, who are all starting from pit lane. Lance Stroll's already under investigation for not returning to pit lane. So that could be a potential either fine or potential penalty during the race. Don't know what that's going to be yet, as we haven't seen anything from race control, but that will be investigated after the race. So it's probably more of an issue that will be a fine will be handed out, which, I mean, it has just literally been anything and everything has just been not going Lance Stroll's way this season, and it's really kind of hurt him. And um, you know, it's hurt Aston Martin in the sense of that they're now only 11 points or so. I think it's actually less since the sprint race yesterday. But just they're, falling into the grasp of McLaren, for that fourth place in the constructor standings. And really, if you think about it, we're starting to get a fight for potentially, from second on down to fourth and fifth, which is really good to see. And we're starting to see that parity come down in Formula One more and more. So they're just doing. They tried to talk to Fernando Alonso. It's funny. There's no risk of rain during the F1 race today, which is amazing. I will be honest, I looked at trying to go to the race. I looked at trying to get 3-day passes, but good God, even 3-day passes were just for general admission were quite expensive. They were, anywhere between $300 to $400 for a 3-day weekend, and then obviously to oh, hold on. Sorry, I'm standing up. fantastic. That was a very good rendition right there of the U.S. national anthem. So amazing. Really good voice. I wanted to turn that up so you guys could at least hear that. That was really cool. So, again, guys, if you are joining the live stream, please hit that subscribe button. Or if you are new to my channel, it helps me out immensely if you hit that subscribe button as we're on a push for 500 subscribers. If you guys can, please donate to my Cash App. It helps me and it helps the channel. $ Eric Ringel YT 2021. That helps my channel out immensely. It really kind of helps, do some things to help my channel further along and, be able to get better equipment, to be able to, seeing this, which I've got to now fix some of my sound padding. But, it helps me, do a lot of these things to really further everything along. So, guys, please, if you can, donate to the Cash App. And if you guys leave a comment with it, I will read it out on air. So, please, if you guys can do that, that would be amazing. But, guys, let's take one last little break before we get into the race. Like I said, I've got timing screens and the race control messages that get passed out by the FIA. Got those on the screen. Got the timing screens up so you will see lap times, sector times, and all that. But guys, let's take one last little break before we get into the Formula One US Grand Prix from Austin. All right, we are back. It is 3 minutes till race time. Sorry, I had to make one last lap to the restroom before we got started. We're getting the weird messages. DRS is disabled right now. So, guys, if you are new to my channel and you guys are watching this, please hit that subscribe button. That would mean the world to me. And you guys can also support the channel by donating to my Cash App. It's $. It's through the Cash App. It's $, Eric Ringel YT 2021. Donate any amount. If you donate and you leave a message with it, I will read it out on air, so you guys can do that. You can live chat with me. I've got the chat screen up, so if you as you guys are watching this, if you got any questions or want me to look into anything during the race, let me know in the comment section down below, and also let me know where you guys are watching this race from today. As I've said before, I'm watching it from the state of Texas. I looked into going to the race, but ticket prices are absolutely ridiculous. So let's run through the starting grid one more time. You got Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll, who are starting from pit lane with massive changes to their cars, as well as Magnussen and Hulkenberg. They're starting with massive changes to their setups. Then you've got Sargent and Albon starting 16th and 15th. You got Daniel Ricciardo starting 14th, with Valtteri Bottas starting in 13th, Guan Yu Zhou starting in 12th, Yuki Tsunoda starting 11th. You got Oscar Piastri starting bottom of the top 10 alongside Sergio Perez. Then you've got the Alpines of Gasly and Ocon starting in 7th and 8th. You've got Max Verstappen, who had a poor qualifying session and basically had pole but had broken track limits and ended up now starting from 6th place. You got George Russell alongside him. You've got Carlos Sainz and Lewis Hamilton starting in the second row, and then Charles Leclerc starting from pole with Lando Norris right next to him as well. This is going to be very interesting to see, what kind of start Max Verstappen can get. Can Charles Leclerc keep ahead of the fast McLarens as we've seen? In the second half of this season, the McLarens have really kind of poured it on in this second half with the updates that they've made. So can we get Norris to the front, and will they be able to hold back Max Verstappen, who's starting in 6th? Will they be able to hold him back and keep him from winning this race today? So we are now just at 2 o'clock, so they should be getting ready to set off on the formation lap in just a moment. All right, here we go. They are rolling off for the formation lap. Also, guys, make sure you guys hit that like button as you join in on this stream. It really helps out basically the algorithm. It helps it push it out there to more and more Formula One fans who may not necessarily like the Sky broadcast and the Sky Sky broadcast and Martin Brundle and David Croft. I like them. It's not a big deal, but I also do know that there are some people that don't necessarily like them. Sorry, I'm checking NFL as we're also progressing. Well, look at that. As a Bears fan, I'm extremely happy right now as the Bears are up 21-3. Oh, that's really cool. They just shared a radio message from Anthony Joshua to Pierre Gasly. So right now, the possible race strategies you've got is mediums that'll go between 15 to 17 laps, hards, which will go between 19 to 22 laps, and then back to a set of mediums or to another set of hards. The softs should not be used in this race. They got used all throughout qualifying, but then, they're just not a race tire, as we saw from yesterday in the sprint race. Carlos Sainz had a hell of a time yesterday, getting that soft tire to run even 19 laps. So the soft tire shouldn't be used unless, we get a, yellow safety car or red flag towards the end of the race, and maybe it's a 10-lap shootout. Maybe some of these teams have a soft tire that maybe gets them, 10 laps in or 10 laps to the end. You may see some of the, midfield teams outside of the top 10 maybe switch to reds if you get a safety car towards the end of the race. But otherwise, the soft should not be used today, just based on everything we're seeing today. So, all right, they are lining up on the grid. And then we'll get 5 red lights. I've got the audio turned up a little bit on the TV. You may be able to just barely hear it under my voice. I don't show the stream itself. I like my channel too much. But I do have it turned up so I can hear radio messages as they're coming through, so I can, kind of let you guys know. So we've just had, on my timing screen, we've just had the start. I may have to readjust a little bit more of the timing because it looks like we're about 30 seconds or so. Here we go. 5 red lights. And we are off for the Austin Grand Prix, United States Grand Prix. Lando Norris gets a great start there. Gets into first place. Oh, contact between Hamilton and Sainz, and Sainz got by him. More contact. And great start from Piastri all the way up into 6th. What a great start by Lando Norris getting up into first place. Max is up into 5th place. Magnussen's already gotten past Sargent up into 16th as we're looking at this. Lando Norris is going to lead this first lap, and he's already starting to pull away a little bit. Why are the two? Oh, man, that's not good for Ferrari to have those two guys fighting. Carlos may be running a little bit quicker, and that may be why. Hulkenberg's lost his place to Alonso. Great first lap by Lando Norris here. Going on to lap 2. Yeah, Norris has already pulled a 2-second gap on Charles Leclerc down to about 1.9. Yeah, he got a really good start, and he looked really good in the sprint race. Turn one incident involving Russell noted leaving the track and gaining an advantage. Don't know what the advantage was that he got. Getting by almost? No? No. Ocon doing a great job of defending against George Russell here, as DRS will get enabled.
Right, we are back. It is 3 minutes till race time. Sorry.
I still had my audio turned up. So Albon's by Bottas. Magnussen's right on the back end of that. Man, there's a good train forming there right towards the back. Only a couple seconds really, between the, 10 team or from 10 on back. There's about, a couple seconds. They're going to be in a huge DRS train here very soon. Sergio Perez is up in the 9th. So guys, remember, hit that subscribe button as you guys are watching along if you guys are new to my channel. Yeah, there's a huge DRS train beginning from everywhere back from about 8th all the way down to 20th. Like, that's ridiculous. Sergio Perez has got DRS on Esteban. Yep, Russell and Perez both get by Ocon there. Ocon looks like he's a little bit slower now all of a sudden. He's already dropped way off of the Perez and Russell fight. Hamilton trying to get around Sainz, wasn't able to get that pass done going into turn 1. Ocon has let Gasly by. Ocon's got to have damage if he's running this slow. Yep, Ocon is just dropping down the field right now on our timing screens. But it didn't look like just from, watching some of the onboards, it doesn't look like he is dropping places. He's already dropped down to 14th place. That almost seems like something's going on with his engine that he's dropping this far back this quick. Hamilton, great pass on the outside of turn 12 there on Sainz, and he's now up into 3rd place. Norris has got about a 2.6 second lead right now. So FIA stewards have announced that the Turn 1 incident involving car 63 reviewed and there's no further investigation needed. Excuse me. Yeah, but they're not going to call that on lap 1. They're gonna basically say, within lap 1, you're basically getting forced. And Ocon has now dropped all the way back to 18th position. With whatever he's 5 seconds a lap slower than the slowest cars on track right now. And now you're starting to see some spacing come. Yeah, Ocon's now dropped down to 19th. What damn? They need to show. I need to see a picture of Ocon's car to see what the damage is. Yep, there goes Max into fourth. Let's see. Sonoda's got his first lap time deleted at turn 20, lap 3. Huge issue through this weekend with track limits and, basically track limits were just a huge contention there in turn 19, turn 20, leading on to the front stretch. I know they've changed some of the way the track is laid out, so I know that's kind of changed a little bit. Oh yeah, Ocon's already dropped 3 seconds off of second to last, and Lance Stroll. It looks like Ocon's going to be getting ready to retire, as Ted Kravitz has told us from the pit lane as we're on lap 6. Hamilton's now by Leclerc. We should be getting ready to see that pass here just very shortly. I'm betting that pass is on the back stretch. Yep, as we're going to go to the back stretch. Lewis is going to get DRS on him here. Yep, and past him on the outside. Yeah, 6 laps into the race, you're not defending that too heavily. Now things are starting to settle down a little bit. Magnussen has his first lap time deleted on at turn 19, lap 5. He's got a time. That's his first warning. Hulkenberg's got his first at turn 19 as well. Ocon's into the pits. He's going to be retiring here as he's running 5 to 6 seconds off of. He's running 8 seconds off of Norris already. He was already 34 seconds behind. That's a real shame for him. Let's see what. Ooh! Jeez! Man, that stinks for Ocon, as he's going to end up retiring. Let's see. I was trying to see what damage. It was basically Piastri and Ocon coming together on lap 1. Tires hit side pods on both guys, so Piastri has probably a little bit of damage as well done to his vehicle, but it's not enough to really hamper his race enough. But he has fallen almost 2 seconds behind Sainz. But Sainz is staying with Verstappen, which is pretty good. You've got Magnussen with his second lap time deleted. Oh no, they're just really late on the updates. Lap 2, he had a track deletion. Hamilton's had one deleted. Ocon had one deleted, but he's now out of the race. So you're going to start seeing a lot of track limits being explored here. Excuse me. Leclerc just being steady. He's not. I'm. My guess is that Leclerc is going to try to save these tires and maybe make them last a little bit longer. Hamilton's probably worn out his tires a little bit from chasing down Sainz and Leclerc. Probably going to try to save those as much as possible. Looks like Albon's holding up. Bottas, Magnussen, Alonso's now joined that fight. Russell is going off a lot. Sergio Perez has just radioed in to his team. We have not. Yeah, my guess is that there's just not. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of track limit issues all throughout this race. Whoops, as I kick my camera. Let's see if anything. Alonso's just now had a track time deleted from lap 2 at turn 11. I should have brought a notebook and just started writing down how many people. I may do that from here on out, as have a notebook handy so that we can kind of keep track of this as they come up. As we're moving on to lap 10, Lando's pulling a little bit of a gap from Lewis Hamilton right now. 3.076 is the gap, and that's growing a little bit here and there. Leclerc is 5 seconds behind Norris, but 2 seconds behind Hamilton. Like I said, I think Leclerc may be entire conservation mode as Guan Yu Zhou's getting ready to. He's hitting the pits now. He's going to drop down the field only on lap 9, so maybe trying to pull an undercut, getting ready to go to the hards here as he drops down to 19th position. Yeah, that was literally. We're only on lap. It was 9, finishing 10, and we've already got people pitting. This could be bad. There's been talk that, the tires were degrading a lot quicker than they were expected. Lando Norris is being told looks like Plan A for them. Hamilton just running a fast first sector. 27.426. Top 5 separated by 7 seconds. Looks like Piastri's dropping down the field, but he's not shown in the pits. Oh no. Piastri's going to end up retiring from the race, and now there's a bunch of cars going into the pits now. This may be, they're worried about a potential safety car. It's still green right now. Piastri's made it to the pits. Yeah, these mediums are not going as long as they really expected it to, as Piastri's going to end up retiring. That's a huge hit for McLaren. Yeah, Lap 10. These tires are not going very long at all. What tires? They're all moving to the hard compound tires. Man, two retirements now. Piastri did. It sounded like his was engine in some way, shape, or form. Man, Max forcing Leclerc off the track there. Yep, Max now up into third position. But they're 5 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton and another 9 seconds, basically 9 seconds all the way back to Norris, as now Sargent's going to be into the pits. Yeah, a lot of people responding to that. Those pit stops. You've got George Russell now with oh, he did get lap time deleted on lap 1 at turn 12. Yeah, these medium tires aren't going. They're getting ready to hit the current pit window, which is lap 14 to 19. But we've already seen teams starting to pit now. Those mediums aren't going as long as they basically were expected to go. Yeah, they are deleting track times. It's just taking a long time for those track limit warnings to come up. Turn 12 incident between Verstappen and Leclerc has been noted. So that means we may get an investigation on that. I'd love to see a replay as far as, who shoved who off the track there. Hamilton's got fastest lap right now. Sonoda's just had a lap time deleted. Nice job, Magnussen, holding on to 17th there against Logan Sargent. Yep, Magnussen's going to get past going here onto that backstretch. You can't see track temperatures on the app that I've got that we're using timing screen. But I'm really interested. I don't know if Haas has had an issue with tire temperatures, before this massive update. And so I'm wondering, Russell's got another lap time deleted. Let's see. Magnussen, Leclerc, and Russell all have lap times deleted. I may have to grab a piece of paper here, and we may end up doing that because as I've grabbed a piece of paper here, because we're gonna have to keep track of time, track limits here, because we're gonna start coming up on black and white flags. So we're gonna scroll up. So Sonoda's got one. Let's see, he's got 1, 2. So Sonoda's got 2 so far. You got Magnussen's got 1, 2, 3. So Magnussen's got 3, so he's probably getting ready to come up on a black and white flag. Let's see, Hulkenberg's got 1. Hulkenberg's got 1 so far, so he's okay. Ocon I'm not going to worry about since he's out. Hamilton's got 1. Hamilton's got 1. Alonso has 1. Russell has at least 2 that I've seen. 1, 2. No further investigation on the Verstappen and Leclerc. Let's see. Got this new one. Leclerc's got 1. And Sargent's got 1. So that's where we're at right now with track limits. So right now Magnussen's already had 3, but we'll as those get updated for us, we'll continue to update those as well. As Hamilton's now starting to gain on Norris. Norris is struggling with some balance as he's through turns 8 and 9. As Hamilton's now gained a bunch of time back on him. He's down to 1.9. Verstappen's only 6 seconds back of those two. Norris trying to avoid the curbs through there. The wind is inconsistent, which might be what you're feeling. So that's why. So Verstappen's going to potentially trigger undercuts here as now Verstappen is into the pits. Let's see how far back he will drop. He drops back to 9th place. Stays within the top 10. But that should trigger a bunch of pit stops coming up here now. Norris has had his first lap time deleted. Norris has gone to, Verstappen's gone to medium, so that means he's going to have to run. He's going to be making at least one more pit stop. That'll get him to the hards. Hamilton's had another one deleted, so that's his second. Magnussen's not been given the black and white flag. The reason that might have been one of his track limit warnings may have come on a pass or may have been forced off the track, so that may be the reason why. But Norris is into the pits. Norris and Sainz are both into the pits here. Let's see if they can get out ahead of Verstappen here. Perez is into the pits as well. This is triggering like I said, this was going to trigger. Tsunoda's into the pits. Norris was able to get out in fourth place. Perez and Tsunoda, Perez is still in the top 10. Tsunoda's still in the pits. Look at that. Ricciardo's up into 7th place right now. That's huge. Ricciardo in his return race back after that 5-week absence with the handbrake that he had back at the Dutch Grand Prix, he's having a really good race back. Let's see. No new track limit warnings so far. Right now, leader was Magnussen with 3, Tsunoda with 2, Hamilton with 2, Russell with 2, and then you got Hülkenberg, Alonso, Leclerc, Sargent, and Norris, all with 1 each as well. Ooh, Hamilton has been instructed target +4. So that could be lap 19 +4 more laps after that, which would be to lap 23. Sergio Perez right back around Stroll, up into 10th place. Yeah, they just made mention of the fact that Norris has gone on to the hard, so technically he wouldn't need to stop again. Gasly was into the pits. Wanted him to do another 5 laps on that tire, on the tire that he's on right now. He's 6.1 ahead of Leclerc. He's 19 seconds ahead of Verstappen. So right now, if he were to pit, Verstappen would come out ahead of him. Hülkenberg's got one, so that's his second. Ooh, Russell, very, very animate that there's another 5 laps on those tires. So that should be interesting to see if Russell may be able to, hold out the tire a little bit longer than Hamilton. Ooh. Locked up into, looked like that. He locked up into 12. Alonso and Hulkenberg now into the pits. Those guys started on the hard compound. Stroll is up to 9th right now. Stroll has yet to pit, though. So far, Hamilton, Leclerc, Russell, Ricardo, Stroll are the only ones left who have not pit yet, as there's Alonso and Hulkenberg on your TV screens into the pits. Why does Haas's pit stops take so stinking long? Jesus, every time I watch their pit stops, they're easily like a second and a half slower than some of these other teams. I just don't get it. As Hulkenberg goes on to a set of mediums, so they've run their 2 tire compounds. Hamilton's now within the pit window. Hamilton's saying, no shit, I'm struggling out here. Hamilton's going to be into the pits now. Let's see how far it drops him down to 5th place. Ahead of Sainz. Alonso's just gotten another track limit, so he's up to 2. Stroll's into the pits. .6, man, that's really slow for Mercedes. Yeah, but Hamilton's going to have a little bit fresher tire. Hamilton's going to have a little bit fresher of a hard tire, and he should be able to go a little bit longer. Pierre Gasly is dingbat. Wasn't Ocon. Jeez, oh Pete. Albon's got his first track limit, I believe. Yep. Norris gets by Russell. Sainz has now run fastest lap with a 1:46.67. Russell's getting ready to pit, and he is into the pits. So let's see how quick of a stop Mercedes can give him here. Russell drops back down to 8th as he comes out behind Ricardo, who's now up to 7th. How is nobody talking about this drive from Ricardo, who's up into 7th place? Albon's had another time deleted. So that's 2 for Albon here all of a sudden. Guys, if you guys are new to my channel and you guys are watching this along with me, please hit that subscribe button. It would mean the world. And you guys can also help donate to my channel, help my channel out. It would mean a world. You can donate through Cash App. You'll see the way to donate just down below here. It would mean the world if you guys could support my channel in that way as well. And if you leave a message with it, I will read your message out on air. So please, if you guys can, please hit that donation button. That's such a cool view of the tower as people are watching the racing from up there. Is now Ricciardo's finally going to pit from 7th. Let's see where that's going to drop Ricciardo to. 10th. May just drop him. Nope. Guan Yu Zhou. Oh, man. Ricciardo is just dropping down. Sargent gets past him. And what did I say at the beginning of the race, or towards the very beginning of the race with Leclerc? Basically, he was just saving those tires and make sure that they lasted through a certain window. He wasn't putting up huge fights between Hamilton, Norris, all them. Like, he saved those tires, I think, for that specific reason. Yeah, the new hard compound tire, like you can see it in some of the guys that moved over to the hards, down lower in the field. Magnussen's had a hard time with them. A lot of them have been having a hard time. Leclerc into the pits. He's going to drop down all the way to 6th. Lonzo up into 10th. Is that a new set of hards? Either new or used. I can't tell what. Didn't see the shine on them like you typically do. Hulkenberg and Magnussen switched positions there. It seemed like he was a little bit faster. Magnussen's got his 4th. He's got to have a black and white. Yep. Magnussen's now 1 away. So it seems like five limit warnings. So now the 5th one will get him a 5-second time penalty. Yeah, Hulkenberg's already pulled his 2nd to Magnussen. And you got to remember that Hulkenberg went over to the mediums. He started on the hards. Norris running a fast first sector there, which now went. That was weird. Magnussen's really. I think it's these hard tires. I think we're going to start to find out that these hard tires just are not a race tire that anybody wants to be on. Because like Hamilton's not made up any time on Verstappen, who pitted I think 3 or 4 laps before him. Okay, so him and Russell are on the same strategy, and they're 2 seconds ahead of Russell, about 2.5 seconds ahead of Russell. So they're on a similar strategy to Russell. Leclerc is. Max is chasing down Lando. He's now 1.2 behind at lap 25. The problem is Verstappen does have to pit again and go to those hard compound tires, which we've seen a lot of guys struggling so far with. The likes of Magnussen. We haven't seen really Ricardo what he's running. He's running 142s, but Magnussen's running 144s on hards, even though that's not a very comparable time because Ricardo and the AlphaTauri is a little bit faster of a car. We can use these tires. Norris pushing more. So basically trying to push Verstappen and Norris into, wearing out their tires. Verstappen's now under a second. Norris has got a track time deleted. That's his second. Jaws, playing the Jaws theme in Norris's headphones. That would be funny. Verstappen's probably going to get him on this back stretch. If we're being totally honest, with as fast as Verstappen has been. Zhou is being told to let Valtteri pass. Joe just let Bottas pass on screen. God, here we go. Hamilton's you've given me a large gap to try to make up, and I get it, but like Hamilton doesn't need to be saying anything. Now there's an incident between, as Stroll has a lap time deleted, there's an incident between him and Sargent that's been noted. So that's Stroll's first. Yeah, Zhou's into the pits now. Remember, Zhou was the first one to pit in the very early beginning of the race. He, basically kind of started the midfield, everybody, pitting. Although he ran a 147.714 that lap. And he's back out. Okay, I was a little concerned. Maybe he was having issues with his car, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Man, Hulkenberg is just absolutely flying on those mediums right now. He's almost caught up to Ricardo. As though goes Verstappen around Norris. Norris is going to fight this, though. Yep. Verstappen is around Norris. That may spell the end of this race, because I bet Verstappen's going to start pulling away from Norris now. Bottas into the pits now, which is weird because if Bottas is coming in, they let Bottas by for literally a lap. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make nearly any sense to me why they would have allowed him by and then literally had him pit like a lap later. Ooh, turn 12 incident between Sargent and Stroll is under investigation. So that'll be the first major investigation into into the race so far. There's Piastri, who retired on lap 10, which was absolutely heartbreaking. It seems to me that he was having an engine issue, whereas Ocon had damage to his vehicle from contact that was made between him and Piastri early in the race. Ricciardo keeps gaining on Sargent. Hulkenberg's now gotten into within a second there of Ricciardo. Yeah, these medium compound tires right now are so much better of a tire to be on compared to those hards. Albon's into the pits, or Albon will be into the pits on your screen in just a moment. Magnussen into the pits. They're probably getting ready to go to mediums. Get off these freaking hard compound tires and see if maybe they can make up some kind of time. Let's see. Albon's in. What did he... Yep, Albon and Magnussen into the pits. Let's see what tires. Sainz is on... Okay, so they're telling Carlos Sainz to save the tire and extend it as long as they can. Ooh, this is going to be an interesting fight here with Hulkenberg and Daniel Ricciardo. Hulkenberg looks a lot faster right now. Hulkenberg has definitely got some pace. He may get him here on this main stretch. And you've got Sargent just ahead of them there. Hulkenberg around Ricciardo. There we go, Hulkenberg up into 14th, or 13th, excuse me. Yeah, Norris is still hanging in there, though. He's less than a second behind him. Ran a little bit of a faster lap on lap 30 there, 141.493 to a 141.658 from Verstappen. Track limits, Verstappen second to last corner. Norris, you need to kind of pay attention to your own. You've got 2 so far as it is. Ricardo's dropped almost 2 seconds back of Hulkenberg already after that move. Hulkenberg's gaining on Sargent. And Hulkenberg's passed Sargent into 12th. That away, Hulk. Hopefully, we may get a chance to see that pass. I doubt it. Norris has dropped to a second back of Verstappen, so he's out of DRS range. Kind of seen some calming down of track limits as we're now 24 laps from the end. 9, 11, 13, 15. 21 track limits so far, total throughout the whole field so far, with 25 laps to go. And now Hulkenberg's already dropped Sargent almost a second and a half behind him now all of a sudden. Yeah, Sergio Perez up to 5th. That is a valid point by David Croft, who started top 10, I believe, just inside the top 10, is run up to 5th. You know, he's fighting Hamilton for second place. Hamilton's wind has just gotten very strong. Yeah, these hard tires are just dog shit right now. Sargent into the pits, probably getting ready to get off of those hard compound tires. The hards are just absolute dog shit. You've been able to see a lot of these guys are running extremely slow when it comes to that tire. See, yeah, those times are starting to even out now. And here's some. Okay, so no further action between Sargent and Stroll. That's been basically investigated and dropped. Norris is now 3 seconds behind Verstappen. Sargent's just had a lap time deleted. That's his second. Verstappen radio. Verstappen complaining about his brakes. He basically said they're a piece of shit and they're worse than they were yesterday. I don't know what he's like. He's not locking up. He just went a little deep there. It almost seems like it was him. Norris into the end of the pits, as this should be his last stop. He'll go the last 22 laps to the end. Probably switching to the mediums here. It's more like Norris is coming to you, so yeah. This is going to trigger the next big pits, bunch of pit stops here. Yeah, that's not good. If he only made 17 on that set, he's not going to be able to get to the end on this set. Hulkenberg into the pits. Hulkenberg out ahead of Sargent, Guan Yu Zhou, and Magnussen. Although Magnussen's starting to gain some time now on Zhou here in the backfield. Sonoda and Ricardo, 11th and 12th, just outside the top 10. Alonso and Stroll, after starting in the pits, starting from pit lane, really good job from them as Verstappen and Sainz are now into the pits. Ooh, slow stop there from Verstappen. 3.3. Yeah, he's a lot closer than he was. They're both on hard compound tires, so let's see whose car is going to respond better to those hard compound tires. That's going to be the biggest thing with the last 21 laps of this race. Perez up to second, Leclerc third. That is uncharacteristically a horrible stop by Max Verstappen there. An absolutely horrible. Now, just looking at the tire situation here, you got Leclerc who's probably going to go to mediums. You got Hamilton that'll go to mediums. Russell probably goes to mediums. Sainz may go to mediums. Whereas you're going to have Verstappen on hards, Norris on hards. And like I said, the hards have seemed like the really crappy tire throughout this entire race so far. Lewis is 15 seconds ahead of Verstappen right now. Hamilton, Perez, Leclerc are all hoping for a safety car right about now. They're all hoping for it right about now. Perez into the pits. He's going to drop down the order. Gasly into the pits as well. Sainz runs another fastest lap there. 1:45.75. Hulkenberg gets around Bottas finally. So now maybe he can chase after Albon. Leclerc's got to fight this a little bit harder. Ooh. Close on track limits there. Track limits have kind of died down all of a sudden. We had that really huge rash of them early on. Hamilton into the pits. Looks like he's going to get out in fourth. 5 seconds behind Norris, which is not bad. He gained a little bit of time there. Hamilton. Mediums? And Verstappen ahead of Leclerc. Yeah, because Lewis Hamilton's 6 seconds behind Norris, by the way. Norris gets around Leclerc. I was going to say, just running slow. Russell really has not. Yeah, they're right. Russell really hasn't made up any. Norris now only 1.2 behind Verstappen. Has been gaining time on him hand over fist. This could be a really good fight with 18 laps to go. Russell into the pits. Russell drops down to ninth after that pit stop. Drops behind the two Aston Martins. Perez now sets fastest lap of the race with a 1:39.881 on the hard compound tires. Yeah, 6 seconds ahead of Gasly. Norris has dropped back to 1.6 behind Verstappen. He had closed it into about 1.2. Yep. He's only 3 seconds behind Norris. Stroll into the pits. Stroll comes out in 11, just outside of the points, so great job there. Perez with another fastest lap, 1:39.737. In 6th place. What a great fight back from Perez. Yeah, Leclerc's got to be hoping for a safety car, I would think at this point, hoping that maybe it'll bunch up the field. Everybody may, change tires again. I feel like that's got to be Leclerc's hope right now, is that he can. Max needs to shut the hell up too. God, listening to him bitch about the brakes, like Horner was just giving him information. He's like, "Yeah, because my brakes are shit." Well, you know what? Just live with it. So we got. Sorry, I all of a sudden I stopped. So we got Signs with one. Perez with one. Sargent with another one. So he's got a black and white. Sargent's got a black and white flag now. So it looks like maybe one of Magnussen's may have been he was forced off track, and that's why they deleted the time. Alonso into the pits from 7th. Hamilton's going to try to get a better line there. Oh, yeah, he got a way better line there than Leclerc did. Alonso pits down into the 10th spot. Hamilton's going to get him. Hamilton got him here. And Hamilton ran fastest lap with the 1:39.582. Yeah, Norris has just not had an answer in this second half with the hard compounded tire. Hamilton's under 6 seconds back from Norris and Verstappen. If Hamilton can catch... If Hamilton can catch Norris, he could possibly get up in the second. I don't know if he's quick enough at this point to be able to catch Verstappen with 13 laps to go. Yeah, he's 14 seconds behind Perez in 7th. Hamilton. Yeah. Striking distance is within 4 laps from Lewis Hamilton to Lando Norris, and that's just in 4 laps. You know, then if and when he gets to Norris and gets past him, you know, with 7-8 laps to go, you've got a good fight on your hands, especially if Verstappen's car's not responding well to the hard compounded tires. I mean, if you're just looking at it, Hamilton's running 0.3 of a lap quicker on the hards. Hulkenberg's gotten past Ricciardo for 13th, and Hulkenberg's chasing down Albon. This is, I do have to say, as a Haas fan, it's quite promising that they're making passes today. You know, they obviously found the tire to be on with the mediums. The mediums, apparently, the car is responding really well, and it's still responding well, which means potentially they may have found a solution to the overheating of the tire situation that they were having that caused them to make this gigantic update to the car. So that could be very interesting. Ricciardo and Leclerc are the only two that have not stopped twice. With same pace as Hamilton right now is what he's being told. Running 142.64, 142.64 to 145.88 from Verstappen, so he's about another 0.3 quicker there. And he's running almost a second faster than Norris on that last lap, so he should be catching Norris here relatively soon. Let's see. Running slower first sector from Verstappen as compared to Hamilton. About a 10th quicker as Hamilton through that first sector, which is a lot of higher speed corners. Hamilton's now 1.6 behind Norris with 10 laps to go. And he ran another 10th quicker in the second sector. So that's 0.2 that Hamilton's gained on Norris there. This could be a very interesting last 10 laps of the race because Hamilton is still gaining on Norris. He's almost to within a second of Norris. And another two. Hamilton gained literally 0.4 on that lap as Norris is losing time. Stroll just gets past Tsunoda. That's going to help them. He gets into the last points bank position. Hamilton should be able to get Norris here on this back stretch. You can see just by the times that as it's dropping that they must be on that back stretch and getting ready to make a pass. Ooh. That was a late move by Tsunoda. And here comes... Ricciardo's the first waved blue flag of the race, as Ricciardo's dropped all the way down to the last position, and Ricciardo is lapped. Hamilton's going to be smart about this, and Ricciardo pitted, excuse me, that was why. Stroll just got by Alonso. Oh no, Alonso, rear suspension failure. He's going to drop out. Oh no. Oh, what a late move by Lando there. But Hamilton's going to get past him. What a move. Nice job, Hamilton. Norris a little iffy on that move there. We can't see anything yet. This could be... Got 7 or 8 laps to go. Something happened that, Alonso's all of a sudden just dropped off big time. 5.3 behind. There, I just don't think Lewis has it in him. They've just notified him that he's working a brakes issue. He's down to 4.9 now. Yeah, these you can just tell the Alonso's now made it to the pits. It looks like he may be getting ready to retire. Leclerc's had a lap time deleted. That's his second. We can see a problem with the floor. That's the issue that Alonso had. That's what's causing him to slow. Sucks for Alonso. He's going to end up retiring as Carlos Sainz goes around Leclerc. Do not lose time. Let Sainz by. Well, yeah, you screwed Leclerc's. That's a little. Leclerc gets another one deleted. And Albon gets one deleted. So they're both at 3 now with 6 laps to go. And now it seems like Verstappen has kind of neutralized the time that he was losing to Hamilton. Alternative strategy. If Hamilton had only stopped once, he would have lost 1 place and the simulation would have put him in 3rd place instead of 2nd. I don't like what is the point to showing that that note? Like that's a silly note there. Albon's had another lap time deleted. That puts him at 4. Track limits incident. Oh, Albon may be getting ready to get a penalty altogether and skip the. Oh, he got the black and white and then did it again. So it looks like so Albon's going to get 5-second time penalty here coming, as he's now being under investigation for track limits. Oh, Sainz may be getting ready to chase down Norris with 5 laps to go. Yep. Albon's under investigation for track limits. I guarantee you he's getting ready to get a 5-second here any moment. Yep, there it is. Albon with a 5-second time penalty for track limits. If Hulkenberg had stayed within within the time, he may have been able to gain another place. But he's dropped 7.3 seconds behind him. So it looks like that won't affect Albon too much. Let me run to the restroom real quick with 5 laps to go here. Whew. There we go. Tried to hurry back as quickly as I could there. Ooh, Sargent's gotten around Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg, his tires must be going off now. Ooh. Albon is under investigation for multiple track limit violations. They'll investigate that after the race. That's very interesting to see. That could really, really hurt him. I wonder what's going on with Hulkenberg. Is he's now slowing? Unless those may have been used mediums. Hamilton's within 3.6 with 3 laps to go. Excuse me. Jesus Christ, what a whiny baby, dude. They're trying to keep you updated. It's now 2.879 with 3 laps to go. Or 2 laps to go, excuse me. Like, quit being a whiny little baby right now. He's trying to make sure that you... .75 now the gap. Magnussen's getting the waved blue flags. 2.2 now the gap. What is going on here that all of a sudden he's dropped a ton of pace? Down to 2.0 yet. Good job, Kevin. That smart move. 1.7 now the gap going on to the final lap. Yep, he's going to run out. He's just going to run out of laps here. Gap down to 1.5 going into the second sector. Yeah, Sainz just was not able to get back up to Norris to get up to third potentially. Zhou just got the blue flag waved for a second time. Yep, that's going to do it. Checkered flag is out. Yeah, Hamilton caught Joe at a really horrible time here towards the end of the race. Hamilton's got a track time deleted, but that shouldn't affect anything. Max Verstappen wins. Wow, congratulations, Max Verstappen. Track surface slippery in Sector 5. I don't know what that means. Norris will get on the podium. Double yellow in Sector 5. What is causing... Sargent maybe finishes ahead of Albon. Hamilton got black and white flagged there at the very end. And Tsunoda just got fastest lap. Tsunoda's going to get fastest lap. Tsunoda's going to get 2 points in this race. Good job, Tsunoda. Fantastic job by Tsunoda here. As he's going to pick up... Got fastest lap. That away, Tsunoda. 138.139. That was a great last lap from Tsunoda there. They were able to pit him where he didn't lose any track position, put on the softs, and literally was able to gain a second point there. So congratulations to Yuki for finishing 10th there. Verstappen was able to hold on. I think it would have been within, pretty close to a second had Hamilton not caught Zhou there towards the end, and Hamilton then ran out track limits. Literally was on a black and white flag, so the next one would have given him a 5-second penalty. Albon's probably got at least another 5 seconds potentially coming to him. But great work by Lewis there. Your podium finishers are Verstappen, Hamilton, and Norris. Norris able to just keep signs at bay and keep them within that 5-second time range. We can tell in this race today that I think the biggest thing out of all of this was that hard compound tire was just absolutely dog crap, and you could just tell throughout that race it was just really hurting a lot of the drivers that were on that hard compound tire. But Verstappen, hats off to him coming from 6th place, running a really good strategy throughout this race, was able to really fight through and finish in 1st place. Norris gets driver of the day today, so good for him. But Verstappen was just able to, the team put him in the best positions to succeed today from, qualifying 6th. Hats off to him. Hamilton's got to have hats off to him as well. Ran a really good race. Made it really interesting there towards the end of the race. Sainz, great race for Ferrari, but Ferrari really screwed the pooch today with Leclerc's strategy. Had him on a 1-stop that, literally dropped him behind Perez, and Perez dropped down to 5th. Russell there was no pace in Russell's car today at all. Only made up 1 position, but that was only because Ocon, who qualified in 7th, dropped out of the race today with damage to his vehicle. Gasly had a really quiet race, but good enough for Alpine, to keep him out of trouble. Was 22 seconds behind Russell, though. Stroll finishes within a second of Gasly. That looks like that could have been a really good fight. to the checkered flag. As we talked about, Sonoda, takes a pit stop late, puts the red soft compound tires on, gets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, gets himself an extra point today. Then you've got Albon, who just finishes outside of the points in 11th, but could be looking at more penalties. Towards the end of the race, we haven't seen anything from race control yet about potential more penalties coming his way. That could drop him out of 11th. Then you have Sargent, who had a really good race today, finishing 12th. Hulkenberg 13th. Some signs maybe that, Haas is on the right track potentially. Bottas finishing 14th, Guan Yu Zhou 15th, Magnussen 16th, Ricciardo 17th, and then you had your non-finishers. Alonso, who had floor damage, terminal floor damage that was basically not going to allow him to, to keep up a really good speed. And then you had Piastri and Ocon, who Piastri, it sounds like, could have been engine issue, but could have been damage from contact with Esteban Ocon on lap 1. But chances are that was literally... it was damage. So that is your running order for the United States Grand Prix from Austin, Texas. What a really, varying strategies all throughout this race really kind of, made this an interesting race. It's not as interesting as it was last season where we had 59 on-track passes, but it was still interesting with the varying strategies that we saw out there today. But guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. I think this was a decent race. It wasn't exciting and towards at certain parts of the race, but then we saw that excitement come towards the end with Hamilton chasing down Verstappen. Just didn't have that opportunity. Maybe one lap more and he may have been able to do it. But guys, let me know in the comment section down below what you guys thought of the race today from Austin. Great race as we get to see Logan Sargent walking into the garage. Yeah, I'm sure he's probably still dealing with that flu. But guys, thank you so much for watching the Austin Grand Prix along with me here on my channel. Please hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. Thank you so much for watching. And guys, for the American F1 fan, I'm Eric Ringle, signing off.